So today we're working on the pressure switch. This is the old one, and what's happening is that little plastic piece, it's getting stuck. You can kind of see how it's getting burned right there. So what happens is it's not making a good contact. And if we pull that plate back, we can get it to start again. But I've had to do it several times, so I'm going to go ahead and replace this one with a new one, and we're going to go ahead and put a gauge in there so we'll be able to see what the pressure of the system is at all times. So first thing we're going to do is cut off the power. That's the inside. Make sure that my contacts right here are not live anymore. I've got the water running out there, which I'm kind of afraid is because when I pull this out, all of the water's going to leak everywhere. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is take the wires out of this and put them on the new one. Here's my the new pressure switch, and it's got a gauge so you can see it. We're just going to take the wires off of this and put them onto this one, and then we'll hook up this to the water line down here. So one set of these wires goes to the power, and the other one goes to the pump controller. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take out the 3 wires that go to the power. We'll get those out of the way first. And I'm probably just going to disconnect them from here so I don't have to worry about them. And then we'll go back and do the others. So there's that. You know, I think what we probably need to do is hook this to the water first, so I don't have I'm not trying to tighten it with the wire still attached to it. That may be a bad idea. They'd be spinning around, losing their connection. So I've got the wires to the pump controller taken off, so there's nothing attached to the old pressure switch. So I'm going to pull that. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this. This is our assembly here. So I'm going to unscrew this pipe because it's broken. That way I can just pull this off and just attach this straight like that in place of where the old one was. Okay, so now I got that ready. So we're gonna pull this out, put the other one in. I expect that there will be some water leaking out of this. Maybe wrong, but I doubt it. Hopefully having that hose turned on, that wasn't bad. Okay, so there's the old one. I'll show you more about that in a minute. Okay, so we got some pipe dope here.
Now we can just screw this back on. Maybe. There we go.
One thing I don't like about this setup, when it freezes in here, this is outside of course, when it freezes, this little thin pipe freezes much faster than anything else, so we've got to be sure and keep heat out here for this. I wish it was inside, but that's what we got. Alright, so now we're going to hook up the pump controller again, like we had it before.
So put a grounding connection on first. And we'll do our red wire. This probably isn't the best view. You probably can't see anything we're doing here. And we'll do our black wire.
Alright, so there's our new wires for the controller hooked up. Now we're going to do the power.
This comes on the other side. Second ground. There's red. The last will be black.
The phone died on me, so I went ahead and broke the glass plastic on that gauge so it would start working, so we could kind of see what's happening. Got the needle up above there, so now we're going to adjust it. So right now the pump is running. I've got the water turned on, so I'm going to shut the water off and see at what pressure does the pump cut off. We've probably got some stuff running in the house too. If you look on the inside of this lid, it tells you what these screws are for. And the nut number 1, that's the big one. I'll show you in a minute. Oh, there, it cut off at 30. You can just hear that. So nut number 1 raises both the cut on and cut off pressure. So we're going to turn the big nut so we can get it to cut off higher than 30. Okay, so I did about eight turns. That's probably 3 or 4 full revolutions. So the pump's not running right now, so I'm gonna turn the water back on so I can get it to cycle. Alright, so now the other thing we're going to watch for is when does it kick on. It has to get down to what to start the pump. Alright, so there it started right about 30, and maybe 29.
So pump's running. Pump's above water again.
And we wait and we watch. The smaller nut, it raises the off pressure only. So like right now I've got the low side. See, it cut off at 32. So it's going on at 29, off at 32. So that's not a very big gap there. So what the problem with that is, your pump's going to be running all the time. Well, it's going to be on and off and on and off and on and off, which is not ideal. You want it to run for longer periods of time. So I'm going to crank down on this smaller nut, and we'll see if we can't get the cutoff pressure to go up, 40, 45. Getting pretty close. All right, so let's watch this as it goes. Any second here. All right, we made contact, and our pump's running, and we'll be building pressure. Turn off the water so it'll build faster. And we'll watch again. So that's how you adjust your pressure switch on the. Oh, this is a regular Pumptrol pressure switch. You can get these at a hardware store. They're pretty common. If you go to a pump specialty store, notice here it says right there, you've got an on 30 and an off 50. That's the maximum pressure that this pressure switch supports. So if I was going to try to set the cutoff to 60, this wouldn't be the appropriate switch for that. I think they make 20 40s and 30 50s, which are probably the most common. You don't want to set it too high, or you'll risk breaking some pipes in your house.